Zoo. In your recent Bridge to Nowhere video, you mentioned that Scientologists believe they're saving lives by clearing their body thetans in OT3. Do they believe they're only saving humankind from the harm these clusters do, or do they also believe they're helping to free the thetans caught up mindlessly in these clusters? It reminded me of the Mormon temple rites that Mormons are encouraged to do, first for themselves, then for their deceased relatives in order to free them from the spirit prison their spirits ended up in because they died without receiving the gospel, the Mormon version at least, and can move into spirit paradise, which is a much more pleasant waiting room for spirits awaiting the final judgment. This motivates Mormons to keep going back to the temple again and again, and paying the tithing and attending the meetings and following the rules they're required to follow to be allowed entrance into the temple. I'm curious if OT3s find themselves similarly motivated. Do they feel like the time and money they're spending on OT3 is doing good, not just for themselves, but for these thetans by freeing them through auditing? Do they feel like even if they haven't done much visible good for society at large, they've at least freed a thetan or two to go off into its eternity a freed being? Well, yeah, that's exactly the point, and I guess I didn't make it clear enough in my video, so I'm glad you asked this question, because this is exactly why Scientologists are so fervent in believing that they are saving the world when they get to the level of OT3 and above. They feel that these body thetans, or which are spiritual beings that are degraded in a very unconscious, almost dead state, and are clustered, and those are the things that make up the body. They feel that these are they're spiritual beings. They're thetans, just like you are and I am, and everybody else you talk to is a thetan who has a body, who's running a body. But the body thetans aren't up to running a body because they're so messed up. So in OT3 and above, OT4, OT 5, 7, Scientologists believe that they are telepathically contacting these body thetans one at a time and addressing whatever the concern is or the problem or the issue with that particular body thetan, and clearing them, freeing them, right? Like unclustering them so they can go off and, like Hubbard said, go off as a cleared being and get their own body, or go admire daisies, or whatever they're going to go do. But that's supposed to be freeing up not only the individual who's being audited, or who's doing the solo auditing. Not only is it freeing up his attention and ability to operate in life, but it's supposed to be freeing that clustered body thetan, so he's no longer a body thetan, now he's a real thetan, and he can go off and live his own independent life again, because for 75 million years he's been glued to the person who's doing the auditing, the Scientologist. And that is a big deal for Scientologists, that they think they're doing this, right? Now the beauty of this, is it is the most subjective exercise you could possibly engage in, because you're sitting in a room by yourself, not saying a word, looking at an e-meter that's with the needle bouncing around doing whatever it's doing, and you're sitting here holding cans and writing out what's going on, and you are telepathically communicating to these spirits, right? These thetans. There's no way to prove that anything is happening at all, right? But this is what they really think they're doing, and thereby believe that by sitting in a room doing this procedure for hours and hours and hours on end, for years, when you get to OT7, right? I'm talking like there are people who are on OT7 doing this every day, 4 to 5 times a day, for a decade, contacting, telepathically their body thetans and freeing them. And they truly believe that by doing that, they are saving the world. That they are creating that they are generating theta. They are generating this wonderful positive energy force, or life force, that is going out into the world and is doing good things. And they also believe that they are overcoming their own tendencies or desires to engage in war or criminality or conflict, because Hubbard said that these clustered BTs are, and this whole Xenu incident that happened 75 million years ago, is the thing that created the urge and desire within mankind to have war, criminality, and insanity. So this is a big deal in Scientology when people get to this level and they start addressing what they call the fourth dynamic engram. Fourth dynamic refers to mankind, and engram refers to a painful, moment of stress and trauma and pain and unconsciousness. That's a Dianetics term, engram. So this fourth dynamic engram that we all share, that all of us on Earth participated in, the Xenu incident, right, is the thing that has made this whole sector of the universe a desert, and very uncivilized, very backwards, very made Earth a prison planet, and that sort of thing. So there's a whole lot of lore and mythology connected with this narrative in Scientology, even though no Scientologist knows anything about it in terms of the specifics or details of it until they get to OT3. Right? Until they get to OT3, it's just rumors. It's just, oh my God, you're not going to believe how amazing it is, right? People who've done the level will talk to lower level Scientologists and say, man, you got to get to OT3, like no matter what, you got to get there, right? And they're very fervent about it. But they won't tell any details about it because they think that if they do, that they're going to hurt the person that they're giving the details to if the person hasn't made it to OT3 yet. So yes, this is absolutely positively, as far as Scientologists are concerned, the most productive use of their time, which is, pretty. It's a shame, that they buy into that, but that's what happens.